you're watching Just the News. I'm Amita Balachandra. We start off today's bulletin with Cyclone Asani. The IMD has now issued a red warning for Andhra Pradesh coast as severe Cyclone Asani has changed its track significantly and is likely to touch the Andhra Pradesh coast between Kakinada and Visakhapatnam. Now, there will be, and this is what the IMD says, heavy to very heavy rainfall in north coastal Andhra Pradesh and Odisha from tonight. Now, Visakhapatnam port has suspended operations. Visakhapatnam International Airport Director Srinivas has said that Indigo has cancelled 23 flights citing bad weather. Now, Asani is likely to weaken gradually into a cyclone by Wednesday morning and into a depression by the 12th of May morning as well. Meanwhile, the IMD has also said that there will be a fresh spell of heat wave that's expected to sweep the national capital from the 11th of May, and that will continue till the 15th of May. And hence a yellow alert has now been issued by the IMD, warning that temperatures may go above 44 degrees Celsius by Wednesday. Some good news coming in from Goa as far as the Save Mollem campaign goes. The Supreme Court on Monday has set aside the National Board of Wildlife's clearance for the double tracking of the railway line from Castle Rock in Karnataka to Mollem in Goa. Now, the Central Empowered Committee in its report had earlier said that it had rejected all justifications presented by railways for the project and termed the project inefficient, unjustified, and potentially destructive. Now, in its report, the CEC had recommended to cancel the project as it possesses threat to the biodiversity hotspot, difficult terrain of the Ghat section, and railways' failure to utilize most of the existing capacity of the single track. Now, the court, however, has permitted the Rail Vikas Nigam to do a fresh assessment of the environmental impact and submit its report to the National Board of Wildlife. Now, people, if you remember, had been protesting severely against the three projects, which included this double tracking project, and it was called the Save Mollem campaign that went on for more than a year. The three projects that threatened the forests in and around Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and Mollem National Park in Goa are the four-laning of the NH4A, double tracking of the railway line, and the laying of a 400 kV transmission line. Now, while this is good news and the Supreme Court has quashed the railways not for this project, environmentalists say that all projects, including this project, must be scrapped in totality. Moving on from this news now, in other news, the Supreme Court today asked the government to reply by tomorrow on whether the sedition law can be paused and people charged under it can be protected while the colonial era law is being reviewed. Now, the CJI said, and I quote, "Our concern is pending cases and future cases. How the government will take care of those till it re-examines the law," end quote. Now, the CJI also added that there are concerns, however, about pending cases and cases in which the provision may be misused. Now, the lawyer for the petitioners, however, said that it was becoming a pattern with the government to seek more time to delay important cases, referring to the marital rape hearing as well. Now, to this, the Chief Justice said, and I quote, "We have to look at both sides," end quote. Now, the case will now be heard tomorrow. Also, in an update on the attack on Punjab Police Intel headquarters, Seek for Justice, the Pro-Khalistan group, has taken responsibility for the rocket-propelled grenade attack at the Punjab Intelligence headquarters in Mohali on Monday night. Now, in a suspected voice message to Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister, the General Counsel of this group has taken responsibility of raising Khalistani flags in Himachal Pradesh at the Dharamshala Assembly Complex as well. Now, he said, and I quote, "This grenade attack could have taken place at the Shimla Police Headquarters," end quote. Now, in the meantime, according to a Times of India report, the Punjab Police are now verifying the plausibility of the voice message and are yet to issue a statement as well on this. Now, a rocket-propelled grenade or RPG was fired from the street and shatter the glasses at the Punjab Police's intelligence headquarters. The police earlier said a few suspects were taken into custody. Now, of course, there's fresh information that this outfit has allegedly claimed the attack on Punjab Police Intel headquarters, which the police is now verifying. Punjab Chief Minister has directed an immediate and thorough probe into this incident. Meanwhile, the Punjab and Haryana High Court today stayed Delhi BJP leader Tajinder Pal Singh Bagga's arrest till the 6th of July, which is when the matter will be heard next. Now, this comes 3 days after the court, holding an urgent hearing late on night, granted him protection from any coercive action till the next date of hearing. Now, a Mohali court has issued a non-bailable warrant against him. The warrant was issued in connection with the case registered against Bagga in Mohali on the 1st of April, alleging inflammatory posts in the media and on Twitter. Now, Tajinder Bagga was arrested from his Janakpuri residence last Friday. There was high drama post that the Punjab police convoy taking Bagga to their estate was stopped by the Haryana police. And later, Delhi police filed an FIR against Punjab personnel for abducting the BJP leader. Now, Punjab police comes under the newly formed AAP government. Haryana police is under the BJP government, and Delhi police under the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. Also in the news, Rahul Dravid has reacted to the media reports that alleged that he would be at a BJP event in Himachal Pradesh. He says that those reports are incorrect. He has now claimed that he would not be participating in this BJP Yuva Morcha's National Working Committee session in Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh from the 12th of May to the 15th of May. Speaking to ANI, he said, and I quote, "A section of the media has reported that I will attend a meeting in Himachal Pradesh from May 12th to 15th. I wish to clarify that the said report is incorrect." End quote. Now, earlier, BJP Dharamshala MLA Vishal Nehria had claimed that Mr. Dravid will be participating in this event. Now, all of this comes ahead of the Himachal Pradesh Assembly elections, which will take place this year. Also in the news, according to PTI, Vivek Agnihotri's The Kashmir Files has been banned in Singapore as the movie could allegedly cause enmity between different communities and disrupt religious harmony in the country. Now, the country's Infocom Media Development Authority, along with the Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth and Ministry of Home Affairs, said, and I quote, and this is according to PTI, "The film will be refused classification for its provocative and one-sided portrayal of Muslims and the depictions of Hindus being persecuted in the ongoing conflict in Kashmir." End quote. Also, Delhi BJP chief Adesh Gupta has written to the civic body NDMC and urged the civic body to rename Delhi's roads that, and I quote, "symbolize Muslim slavery." End quote. Now, he has suggested that Tughlaq Road should be renamed Guru Gobind Singh Marg, Akbar Road should be called Maharana Pratap Road, Aurangzeb Lane should be called Abdul Kalam Lane, Humayun Road should be Maharshi Valmiki Road, and Shahjahan Road should be named after General Bipin Rawat. Now, this is not a one-off incident. Earlier, Hindu group Mahakal Manav Seva held a protest near the Qutub Minar in Delhi, and this is according to ANI, demanding that the minaret be named as Vishnu Stambh. Now, the groups also recited Hanuman Chalisa near the Qutub Minar. A heavy police force has now been deployed near Qutub Minar. Moving on now, Indian music composer and Santoor player Pandit Shivkumar Sharma has passed away at the age of 84. He had been suffering from kidney-related issues for the last 6 months and was on dialysis. He passed away due to cardiac arrest. Meanwhile, let's take a look at what's happening across the globe, starting off with Sri Lanka. Anti-government protesters in Sri Lanka set up a checkpoint on the road leading to the Colombo airport to prevent the Rajapaksa family loyalists from fleeing the country. In the meantime, Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has urged people to stop violence and acts of revenge against fellow citizens and vowed to address the political and economic crisis facing them. Now, the Sri Lankan government on Tuesday granted emergency powers to the military and police personnel to detain citizens without arrest warrants, according to PTI. Under the order, military personnel can detain citizens for up to 24 hours before handing them over to the police. Now, this comes after there have been protests not just in the last couple of days, but for almost 2 to 3 weeks right now. But the last couple of days, the protests have taken a violent turn. 8 people have died and more than 200 people have been wounded in clashes that took place in Sri Lanka. Now, anti-government protesters who had been demonstrating peacefully since the 9th of April began retaliating after they were attacked by supporters of the outgoing Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Now, the ancestral home of the Rajapakshas in Sri Lanka was also set on fire by a group of anti-government protesters. Sri Lankan president has now extended the nationwide curfew till the 11th of May. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, it is day 76 of Ukraine crisis. The Ukrainian port of Odessa has been hit by missile strikes. 1 person was killed and 5 injured when a shopping center and a depot were hit as well. Now, Ukraine's armed forces has said that President Zelensky has warned that Russia's blockade of Ukraine's Black Sea ports threatened global food supplies. Now, European Council President, who was forced to take shelter as he visited Odessa, warned that badly needed supplies are stuck. In the meantime, according to Ukraine's defense ministry, Russian forces are conducting storming operations at Mariupol's plant as well. There are several civilians stuck, according to Ukraine. On to sports news right now. Uttar Pradesh's Annu Rani has broken her own national record at Javelin Nationals in Jamshedpur in her very first attempt. Now, she has now set the record at 63.82 meters. Now, Sunday was the 9th time she broke the national record as she improved on her previous mark of 63.24 meters set last year at the Federation Cup in Patiala. Also, one piece of good news before we wrap things up here on this bulletin. This is regarding the Pulitzer Prize. Reuters photographers Adnan Abidi, Sana Irshad Matu, Amit Dave and the late Danish Siddiqui won the 2022 Pulitzer Prize for feature photography for their coverage of the coronavirus crisis in India. Now, Mr. Siddiqui was killed last year while covering a clash between Afghan special forces and Taliban insurgents. This was Siddiqui's second and Abidi's third Pulitzer. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching.